it's pretty clear that public pressure is now moving in the territory of NFT and blockchain. So in this discussion, we're going to sort of like look at how we're going to build up this platform, and hopefully, you'll be interested enough to express your interest. You can go to publicpressure.co and apply. So what are we going to do? We are going to do the first NFT platform fully dedicated to independent artists. So just music. What happened in the last month is that lots of artists used art NFT platforms to do small clips, sometimes even full videos and everything. And they kind of forced their way in. But there isn't sort of like a dedicated NFT platform. They are popping up now. And the public pressure would be to be one of those. So we're going to talk to Sergio and Giulia, which are going to be part of this project, about how this platform will perform, what it's going to do for you guys, and hopefully you can leave some comments and help us understand what you want, okay? So I think today we're going to talk about, first of all, the importance of protecting and sharing copyrights with the super fans, how we can use NFT in the same way the Bandcamp use it to attach physical products, and above all, understanding a bit more about NFT. And this is where Sergio and Giulia can help us with. So, Sergio, my first question is about selling a master on NFT, right? What does it mean, and what artists can achieve by selling their master to NFT, through NFT?
But from a technical perspective, you mean?
Both technical and I think the most important thing is like artists will think of is, how much should we sell it to? How many people would buy it? Can a label buy it? For example, if I want to sort of like sell my master to a label, right? Could we do, instead of through a traditional system, through NFT? For example, we say we have a master and I want the label to get a percentage of it, to buy a percentage of it. And maybe I want also some external investors, like maybe 10 super fans. Is that something?
But I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, we're all developing the solution on our blockchain, and then obviously NFTs in our case are affecting and helping to redesign business model within an industry. So, I mean, we are just somehow guessing on what is going to be the dynamics which are going to be adopted in the future. But the main idea is that you have a technical component. So before, I mean, a master maybe was on an hard drive, was on a CD, that was handed over as the only copy to the record label. That's how it worked. I don't know. I'm asking you because I'm not that familiar with the music industry.
Well, digitally replicable. Obviously, in ancient times, the 90s, we used to give it sort of like a digital tape at that, and yeah, maybe there was one, maybe there was a copy of it, but tend to be pretty scarce, maybe a couple or two or three max. Now, obviously, with digital, you can replicate a master as much as you want, but of course, you would keep it safe, of course. Yeah.
But that was the physical dynamic under which you hand over or you sell or you give out co-ownership to the master. Today you have a technology infrastructure called blockchain, so assumingly you can upload your master into the blockchain, certify that that is the original and only copy, and then you can decide how the master is distributed in the industry as it was distributed before. So on one angle, you could have a full technology adoption by a record label, creating a new form of distribution of the same content they were distributing before. But then the other very interesting exercise is always on democratizing and extending the contribution and the participation within the industry. So maybe this is the first time where user, so listener, in the case of music, they can start participating themselves into the industry and somehow share part of the profits. So the interesting question would be, if this is going to happen, what kind of shape is going to have? What is going to be the gamification dynamics that we can implement through the platform to make sure that we can create a more equal and a more distributed sort of industry?
Okay, Julia, I've got a question for you, because you looked a bit into the numbers of sort of like how a token maybe is broken down in, like, now I'm going to use terms that don't really maybe apply to NFT, but kind of like shares, you know what I mean? Like shares of a something. So I'm going to sort of like give you a very fast sort of like sum up of what's happening now within small independent labels and group. The small independent label, they're not as wealthy as they used to be in the 90s, even the small ones, you know. Basically, like, the middle class of music has disappeared in the last 20 years, right? So let's look at a small label. A small label nowadays would go to an artist and split everything, even the costs, right? That was something that would sounded like mad 20, 30 years ago. Today, they have to, because artists are becoming more entrepreneurs and labels have less funds. So a 50-50 deal on sharing things is pretty common, right? Cost included. So the artist pays some of the work. So and also these artists, they tend to have labels. They tend to have a kind of like a small group of super fans, right? So with that mentality, I would want to put a master on an NFT platform and divide it in three kind of divided in three parts in a way. One, the artist. Another one, the label. And then the rest to a selection of super fan. So as a label, I would say, as an artist, I would say, for example, I want to keep 40. I want to keep 40 for the label, and I want to share 20 with super fans. So I'm going to get 10 tokens, 4 for me, 4 for the labels, and 2 for the super fans.
Yeah,
is that something that can be done? Because that would really make it a perfect.
I think the new way to sell music is completely changed with NFT. Like few famous artists, they did already, but I think it's not in the discussion now. But like, for example, there is a small group, it's an Italian group. They sold for $1,000, like music, and for one token only, sort of for one person. But at the same time, you can sell the master to 10, 20 fans, or you can sell the token to, like, as you said, the 4 fans and the record label. So I think it's a new way to sell your music as an artist, and in the same way, you can also sell not only the master, but you can sell like an inédit concert to a few group of fans, or you can sell, like, you can have a different way to sell your art, like your music art.
Well, it's interesting that you say $1,000, because basically, you know, in our market, if a label or if an artist manages to make I don't know, 500 limited edition vinyls, or 250, and sells out, that's great, you know. And the cost is, yeah, you could say is around $1,000, £1,000, €1,000, around 1K basically. So I can see this dynamic. Like, I have the album is finished, I do NFT, and then I raise that money to then do the vinyl that I'm going to give to who bought the vinyl, to the NFT users, by dividing the token between the label, the artist, and the public. Then I get,
of course,
1K, and then I do my vinyl or my CD or cassettes. Yeah.
And at the same time, NFT is going to have a value, because NFT is a unique, and it's like to have the name is a token, so it's going to probably be more valuable in few years if the group, the band, or the single musician is going to be famous. So in a way, it's investment for the fan, for the record label, or for like investors that they want to invest in this.
So basically, for a super fan and for a label, to me, it feels like it's a bit like what's happening now, right? Because now it happens a bit like that. There is limited editions. A label and an artist make few copies and everything. The record goes out. Super fans buy it. But the difference is that on top of that, you are also betting on a possible future.
But you're becoming a business partner, right? I mean, that's the angle. So you're giving a sort of income and financial reward, because we're talking about financial reward, because we're creating value out of something which is liquid and can be traded, can be exchanged. So a counterparty, which is the fan or super fan, whatever you call it, that before the only thing that he could do is spend his money to follow the artist, because it was my only role for many years in the industry. Suddenly I find myself in the business. That's, I think, is the innovation. So the goal of the platform is to understand how can we make all these super fan and fans contribute to the music industry to help artists and musicians to be more successful. That's, I think, is the underlying question.
I think it's not only selling the master. There are other ways you can share with your fan or with people that they want to invest you. Different way, like you can sell like a new music, a limited edition, as you said, like let's say 100 with an amazing video with a friend of yours that can be like a really good artist, and together you can do like a unique performance as a limited edition and sell to your fans or sell to new people that are going to know you through the platform. So it's a new way to do art, music art, through vision and through the music. So there are a few different things you can do with NFT, not only selling the master.
Yeah. Okay.
Then there is another dynamic which I would be interesting to hear from you guys. The music has always been accessible to everyone, right? As long as I have the money to pay for iTunes, Spotify nowadays, or to go on platform where I can access content, somehow I can access every content which is available on those platforms. So pretty much 99.9% of the music in the market, correct? So like very famous artists and less famous artists. What's going to happen if you launch an NFT with limited editions? Will it means that certain group of people are going to have certain content and another group of people might have another content from the same artist, slightly different or maybe very different? And naturally this content can change in value and perception, and therefore be exchanged and create unique distribution of the product. Can this happen?
But I don't know.
This is like completely different from the current dynamics, which is about distributing as much as possible to many people as possible.
Well, it all depends. I mean, I think it will follow the natural kind of market of limited materials. Like, for example, if you look at Discogs, where vinyl is exchanged, right? If there was a record that had, I don't know, 1,000 copies, it's very rare. And now a copy that used to be on the market for €7, £7, whatever, let's talk pounds, £7 is now worth £500, right? At one point, when everybody was doing records, vinyl, it stopped because everybody was doing 1,000 copies. In the 90s, I was doing 1,000 copies of my record every month, 2 or 3 records a month. So my 1,000 copies is not a limited edition. It's what it is, and there were too many. So I think that this dynamic may be kind of like toned down a bit, in the future, because the more people do NFTs, the less they're valuable in a way.
And yes and no. I don't know.
I mean, not for everybody, not for everybody. A David Bowie NFT will always just destroy the market. But I'm talking about the more sort of like the lower end of the spectrum,
Giulia, what do you think?
I not agree, because it's a new way to sell your music, and it's going to be the future, because it's going to be more democratic. You can decide how much you want to sell your music in a way, and how much is the value of your music, because at the same time people buying you are going to tell what's the value. So I think in a way it's a different way to sell things, and it's going to change the entire world. It's already changed for arts, as you see.
Oh, no, I do agree with that, especially when we talk about blockchain. I wasn't specifically talking about sort of like the NFT particular sort of like present hype. For me personally, and that's why I'm interested into this project, I said it last time, so I'm going to repeat myself. I think NFT is a fantastic entry for new players that maybe missed the boat 2 or 3 years ago with blockchain and music. But the ultimate goal is to blockchain, as a verb, the music industry, of which NFT is an aspect. I think.
Yeah, which I agree, but still the NFT changes quite a lot. I mean, what Julia just said. I mean, in the old days, when Apple came about with iTunes, is basically kill the prices, right? Before it was, I think, the record label to set the price of an album, and they were sold through retail, so you just had physical copies. Then you had all the digital music coming across with the MP3 player and blah, blah, blah. But still, you were buying albums. And then suddenly you have the subscription model or the flat price model, because the greatest innovation of iTunes was say, okay, every song, $1, full stop. You can be Madonna, you can be an emerging, everything is at $1. So democratizes in the sense that the price gets very accessible. That has changed across the years, but I mean, it's still not that different, because today you buy a subscription, which is still very affordable. Now with the NFT, you're basically telling to the fan, you're going to set the price. Because once you go in a stock market, and when you talk NFTs, those NFTs are tradable, are exchangeable. So you go in a marketplace, and most of the time, I mean, they go on auction. Am I right? I think Julia knows more than me. But the auctioning means that the market is betting or is placing a bid over the content and say, for me, that's the value. So it's changing the perception quite a bit, because artists should also be open to say, I want my fan to set the value of my art, of my music. And
actually,
that's a very different dynamic.
And I tell you what, I think, and I don't know why I didn't think of it before, maybe because I got a bit of a cold, I don't know. But this dynamic already exists, because I was talking before about Discogs. And Discogs.com is basically the website where everybody changes vinyl, right? And we are all on Discogs, all my music is on Discogs, everybody's on Discogs. Doesn't matter how big is your label, whatever. And Discogs is basically self-adjusted, you know what I mean? It's the people that decide, saying how many copies there are around and everything, and how many people buy that particular record, the value of a track, right? So, for example, I personally have my second single, right, which cost £250 because it was done on 1,000 copies, and it's very rare, I've got other records that maybe to me or had more success. They are worth nothing because it doesn't matter. You can get in, whatever. So there is already, what I'm trying to say, there is already a vast community of people that decide to give particular value, even to independent, small run copies of electronic music or punk or whatever. So I think that could replicate on NFT. I think the big question is like the NFT makes a lot of noise and really works very well at big level, the Weekend, Kings of Leon, and all that things that we shouldn't even talk about because it's not part of our experience. But do you think, and I'm asking the question to both of you, that we could have a smaller market where people is happy to buy things that are less expensive and making maybe marginal revenues and work more on volume? Like, for example, my NFTs are not very expensive, but I got 500 of those because I all like my little punk bands that put this NFT.
Of course, that's what I said before. It's not only selling the master, but you can also...
No. What I'm trying to say is, like, for example, can it be a small market, a small tokens with small values? For example, I buy something for, let's use real money because it's easier for everybody. I spend £30 on something, and I'm more than happy that in 6 months it's going to be £50.
Yeah,
or
sure.
does it work only on the small or the big scale?
No, I think we
Can
know...
it become a small market? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the independent music business, subculture, it's a small market, which is made, so I'm thinking, can it become also a small market where people can enjoy little revenues and little investments, or has to be only big?
No, of course. You can see in the art with NFT. Like in art, you have like super young artists or like not well-known artists. They're selling like their arts like one piece for $400. So it's the same for music. Like you can do like a new song with a new video with a limited edition and sell for 500 token, you said, for $50. And I think if you have fans, they want to buy it, you can buy it. There is not a limit of money. Like you can sell your token for $15. The artist is going to decide how much is the minimum that he or she would like to sell a token. And then usually they're auction, they're like the last 24 hours. And in the auction, they're going to sell all the token. So this is a dynamic that the artist is going to decide by himself what's the value, the minimum value to sell.
Oh no, I get that. My question was like, will it kind of work?
It's impossible to say,
passion.
Alfredo.
Yeah.
It's impossible to say. I mean, we are betting on something that we don't know. The only thing that we can argue is whether we believe that this new business dynamic that you can bring in an industry, like using new technologies, is going to improve the relationships between artists, labels, and fans. It's going to democratize the distribution of a solution, the distribution of content, which is music in this case. And then we need to let the market decide how it wants to play with it. But I mean, the right way to look at blockchain is let's decide the artist on how to program the NFT and play around with the content of the NFT, and let the fan play around with the perception of the value of that NFT. The good thing is that if this gamification is going to work, it's going to change the music industry.
So what's going to happen, for example, if, in practical terms, I have a master, right? And I have 3 choices. I have 2 choices at the moment, let's face it. Either I put it straight away on streaming, like Spotify, Apple Music, and so on, in which case I go through an aggregator, or I'm a Bandcamp guy, and I put it on Bandcamp, where I can better control the price and so on. Now I've got this third option, is like, or I put it on public pressure NFT, publicpressure.co. So I upload the track, right? And what happens next? Like
the artist can decide in how many tokens he would like to sell. the master. So it
Okay, how many tokens? So if I say, give me an example, like 1,000 token in each one is going. How does it work?
Like to sell a master should be a maximum of 10 token, because you're going to share also the royalties of the music. So at the end, if you want to decide with the 10 fans, so 10 people are going to buy your token and your master, they need to agree all together that you will need to be on Spotify and all the channel if you want to sell that music together. So usually,
Sure. Can I interrupt you just a second? Because it's very important. When you say 10 token, can I say, okay, the label will buy straight away 4 because they want to, right? Okay. So I can say, okay, 10. Can I say like 10 tokens? 4 are for me. I keep them. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can this as an artist, you can decide. I sell everything. I can sell all the master. I'm going to be always the co-owner because I'm the.
So when you say 10, doesn't mean that the artist has to own 4. No.
The artist is always a co-owner because he's the creator of the art of the music. So in a way, he's going to share the creation with other people.
So the 10 tokens already just the value, for example, of 50%. Is that correct?
It can be 50, can be 75. That part is the artist.
Okay, so if I'm an artist that I decide I'm content with 20%, so my 10 tokens are basically 80%.
Yeah.
Correct. I understand. Okay.
So
okay. And then the label straight away say, as soon as they go out, by or I could actually do in advance that thing. I can say
the label can do a commercial agreement with, I mean, if the label already has a commercial agreement with the artist, you just tell each other, listen, I'm going to put it here as well, and I'm going to raise some more money. We might make all together some more money, because you know that whatever the artist is going to get from this new channel, a percentage is going to be given to the record label. So either
all right. So I could say, it's very important because this is when I think everybody will understand. I can decide, okay, I work with the label, and it's a small label, and we say, okay, I'm the artist, I'm going to take 20%. You're the label, you're going to take 20%. Why don't we raise funds, freeing 60% into the market through 10 tokens? Yeah,
that can be an angle.
Yeah. I thought it was the angle. Is one angle? There's more angles? How many angles did you go?
No, there are more angles, as I said to you. Like the artist can decide how much he or she would like to sell the master.
No, I understand. What I'm trying to say, I was going on the back of what Sergio was saying. Like, if we do this in advance with the label, we decide in advance that we keep 40% and we release 60 to the super fans.
Yeah, you can do that.
And then between the label, we say, hey, that's my 20, that's your 20.
But I think our platform, we are not going only, there are going to be different options what you can put in the NFT. You can sell the master and decide.
No, I know that, but I was starting with the master. Now we move on to more. So that's the master. Then what comes next? What else can I sell? Okay, we sold the master, right? Basically 20 for the label, 20 for the artist. We released 60% through 10 tokens. Fantastic, right? Yeah. And we raised $1,000, right? So now I want to do I want to sell it again, but only for, not the master, but just for enjoyment. Like only 1,000 people will have this.
You can have like an unreleased song plus a video with another artist together.
Can it be the same song? Can I put 2 levels? The master will cost you this, but the owning it in terms of listening to it it's another proposition. Can you do it?
But I mean, this is like an advertising exercise. So we are going into a different direction with the conversation. So one thing is we give you the opportunity through the platform to place into this container called NFT whatever you want and sell your master, a limited edition plus a video, whatever is going to be the package, access to the concert. I mean, We have seen different example in the market.
Yeah,
and
I know.
one thing is deciding whether it can be the same one.
No,
No,
I don't
but
think if you sell the master, you sell the master. Then it's another NFT. You're going to do a new song that you don't sell the master, but it's like a new song with a new video, and it's going to be limited edition as you like. It's going
but
to be
why?
a piece
Why
of
can't
art.
it be the same?
Because it's two different business dynamics. Cioè, or one business dynamics, you're telling to your user, listen, this is my song. I'm going to distribute it into iTunes, into Spotify, into all the platform of the world. The song is going to become famous. The song is going to generate revenues, and I'm going to share these revenues with you. So that's one angle to the business proposition. If you go on a limited edition, the angle is, this is a collectible. Since I'm going to be a famous artist, these things today might be valued 1,000, but in 20 years, it's going to be valued 10 million. So you cannot find it in the market, otherwise it's not anymore a collectible. So limited editions are generally collectibles. Then some people make mistakes and they do 1,000 versions, so it's not really collectible because you have way too many around there. But ideally, if you do limited edition, they become collectible for very super fun. That's I think is the gamification. I don't know if Julie agrees with me, but I mean that's the way that I would look at it.
Like the things you see in the market, and I think is going to happen. If you want to sell your master, I think the maximum is going to be 10 tokens, sort of. Then if you want to sell like a new song plus a video plus, then you can add other things, like you can add I don't know, like entrance to the concert, or you can add a few things, but it's going to be a limited edition between 100 and 600 tokens. So it's going to be a limited edition, minimum 100 to 600. So only maximum 600.
How come 600? This is a strange number. It's just
because I think if you do more, it's not any more limited edition in a way.
Funny 600 instead of 500. Curious.
But that's what the industry has set as a level nowadays.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's cute.
I think it's not anymore limited in a way, but then of course the artist can always decide what's the minimum and what's the maximum in a way. The platform is going to suggest what's the best things to do to help the artist, because it's a new things to do for them. So the platform is going to help them to do everything. The artist needs only to think about a new song, a new album, plus the videos, and that's it. The platform is going to take care of all the rest.
So now we've got...
But sorry a second, but this is an important perspective. So the collectible in this case, for what I've seen in the market today, is the access to the concert. The collectible is maybe the video or any other content which is attached to the limited token. But the song itself, it's going to be distributed. Cioè, I haven't seen them much. I'm trying to understand if the song is not going to be distributing and the song itself is going to become the collectible. That's the trickiest angle for the industry. I don't know if it makes sense.
I'm trying to think, because obviously, it goes back to the usual thing.
The song is going to be limited. It's not going to be unlimited. The song is going to be limited only for the limited person that are going to buy the token. So it's going to be the musician is going to be an artist, as we buy Damien Hirst. Like it's going to change the view of music in a way, because if you do a limited edition of 300 songs, that's it. That song is going to be 300. You're not going to unleash everywhere.
Right.
So that's a point to be limited. That's a point to be collectible.
And that's the biggest innovation, because I haven't seen the sort of dynamics happening before.
Well, obviously, it's like this sort of like and this is just a kind of sort of like a kind of like an obstacle within the musician's mentality, within NFT, not blockchain, because I think the idea of selling your master through NFT, I think it's an amazing thing. I think that streaming through blockchain is another amazing thing. The only issue with NFT is that artist wants to be famous, It's just like it's an ego trip, It's true. And musicians, especially, more than artists. And the idea that something is limited, it may go sort of like against their kind of ego. I think that probably, I would love to see a platform, and I wish it was ours, where basically there is 3 direction, right? First of all, how to finance through superfans your music, and therefore selling your master. That's a fantastic idea. I think it's incredible. Superfans would be delighted to have ownership of a master with the artist and the label, if there is a label behind it. The second one is the NFT. That really does it fantastically for limited editions, so you can attach vinyl and everything. Super. The third part of the tassel would definitely be streaming. And I tell you why. Because I think that the ownership of anything, right, the physical, even in a way, even a download is a physical, right, compared to streaming, because you actually have something in your computer. I think the physical ownership of a form of art, it's going to become limited in the future. So I would be very happy to be number 1 on Spotify, and then have a particular song that is just for the super fans and everything. There is only 500 copies. That really suits me fantastically. So these are the 3 aspects, I think, that at the moment are interesting of blockchain. Sort of like, I finance my master and I protect it, right?
Yeah, but streaming is not very much a blockchain exercise.
Well, audios?
Yeah, but I mean, like, blockchain is about... No, I'm saying blockchain is about ownership, is about traceability, and is about security. So in terms of streaming, is going to solve that unless you go and stream from that original file, which is protected by the blockchain, you're not going to be able to create piracy and other stuff like that, because you cannot download it, you can only stream. But it's a technology play, very much a technology play. And if this stuff is going to happen, so everyone is going to somehow place a master into a blockchain infrastructure, then iTunes, Spotify, all these people, they're going to all stream from that original file.
So you think that within the streaming...
It's a different game.
It's a different game. So
it's a different
game. In theory, unless something dramatic happens, the winners are still going to be Apple Music, Spotify, and everything. They're just going to adopt it and...
Yeah, but it's not I don't think it's our game at this stage. Our game at this stage
I understand that. I'm just trying
to use the NFTs. The streaming is maybe the next stage.
But do you think, for example, that a company like Audius that does blockchain streaming has a future, or they're just going to be surpassed when Spotify decides to go?
That's a good
But I mean, no one can say that. I mean, I can't make prediction on how companies are going to collapse.
That's why you're here, Sergio. We want your prediction.
No, I mean, I'm not an astrological guy. Like, the only thing I can tell you is the only thing I enjoy doing is thinking on a strategic perspective on how new technologies can be adopted in the industry. So that's the conversation we've done until now. But if you ask me, am I going to stream all my music in 10 years from someone who structured a solution on blockchain? Does it make sense, blockchain for streaming compared to iTunes? I tell you, I don't know, but I don't even know if it makes sense, blockchain for streaming. I mean, blockchain makes sense for what we discussed until now, to protect the master, to sell the master, to fraction the ownership of the master, and to create new gamification dynamics with the community, which distribute wealth in a more democratic way. That's, for me, is blockchain. The rest is solution on top, which is web solution, application, and other stuff.
But the other point here that I think is important to talk, it's like we want to build a platform that it's easy to understand for the artist and for the final user. What there is now on the market or the platform are really complicated. Like, you need to be like a really a person that invests in crypto knows what is a wallet or other things. So our other main point that is going to be really important for us is to be easy to use, easy to understand to everyone.
Okay, so for example, I'm the perfect example because I'm part of this project, but I don't have the knowledge that you guys have, and I failed. I tried to put something on Rarible, and at the end I was connecting wallets, and they asked me something, mask this, mask that. At one point, basically, I couldn't see the exchange, and I say, well, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
That's the point. That's the point that in our platform you can use also credit card, so you don't need to have like Bitcoins or Ethereum or other like crypto value.
Fantastic.
To buy.
That's all I'm asking at the moment. Yeah.
You can buy with credit card, and then we're going to create a wallet where you can collect all your NFT.
And who's doing this already in terms of?
Sorry.
Is there any platform that does that already?
As a platform, auction platform of NFT.
Yeah,
like
we don't have to name our future competitors. Just tell me if there are already.
Like now, there is no music we're going to be probably the first platform selling NFT for music only. There are other platforms that are selling all collectibles, few musicians quite famous, and arts, but they're quite complicated, I have to say. So that's the other really important point for us, for myself and also Alfredo, to be easy to understand for everyone, because already blockchain is quite complicated, and a lot of people, they don't know what is blockchain, they don't know what is a token.
So for example,
what is
I'll give you an example.
You know what? I always say that is irrelevant that you know what is blockchain and how it works. Like no one knows how the electricity works. Exactly. I mean, we switch a light, we charge computers. I mean, if you would ask anyone, do you know how the electricity system and grid works? What is the physical rules? Letting electricity travel in the grid. Who cares?
But the other common mistake is like when you talk blockchain, people think about Bitcoin. That's it. They don't think about anything else. So blockchain is not Bitcoin. Blockchain, as Sergio said, is like internet. It's a new way to do technology and a new infrastructure to build a new technology on top of it. So we don't need to explain now what is blockchain, but it's not only crypto. Can be other things, can be smart.
So the trick is, why should I be interested? And I say you should be interested because with this new technology, now you can do 1, 2, and 3, which you cannot do before. Right? So this is the opportunity, and this is the way that you can build and leverage these opportunities. Like someone knocking on your door and I say, look, I have new electrical plugs. Like before you had the risk of fire, now you don't have any risk of fire. Do you want them? Yes, of course. I mean, my house is safer. I don't want to even know why they decrease the risk of fire. I know that they're certified. I'm going to buy the solution. I think that's the mentality.
Now they're not really easy to understand, a lot of them. Like there is no value in dollars, there is no value in euros. Like if you see like a piece of art that they're on sale, there's like Ethereum, and I don't know the value of Ethereum today. It's quite complicated. I want to know what's the value now in dollars, euro, pounds, and it should be easier. For everyone.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Like Bandcamp, for example, you can buy anything on Bandcamp with any form of payment, but how Bandcamp pays you back is by PayPal, for example. That's it. So everybody knows that.
We're going to build an easy platform for everyone to use, because I know
fantastic.
For a lot of artists, it's not easy to understand what is,
especially the payback. Right? For example, how our platform will pay back artists, right? If we were to use PayPal is used by everybody in the independent music artist landscape, and that's why Bandcamp uses that. I had another question back to streaming, which I think it's interesting. I understand what you're saying, right? Between that, streaming is not necessarily relevant at this stage in our blockchain NFT strategy. But if I sell my master, right, to a number of fans, right, how are they gonna sort of like receive money back from the track being played on Spotify, for example? Wouldn't it be great if the two things were connected?
Yeah, they're going to be backed on their wallet. So they're going to have a wallet from our platform. And all
I know. But for example, like, but Beatport would pay, sorry, Beatport. Spotify, Beatport is another platform. Spotify, I make, my track makes $1,000 on Spotify, right? I've got to divide this $1,000 between me, the label, easy, and then a number of individuals. Who's going to do that?
But I mean, it's not going to be automatic. I mean, now what is automatic is the income that goes back to the record label and goes back to the artist according to the traditional distribution of the music. So all this stuff now is bulletproof. It happens because it happens every day, right? So the way I see it is that you're going to just have another layer on the back. So the artist is going to know that he decided to split his shares with a number of super fans. Or maybe the artist and the label decided that they're going to create a percentage of their ownership and they're going to give it to the super fans. So you have to rely on the honesty of the label and the artist, I think, to deliver back value into the you have to rely on some sort of relationship. I don't know technically if it can integrate with all the way that the income is calculated and automate this process.
I think they are, because I don't think there's going to be Spotify doing it, but it's going to be the aggregator. And now, just to recap, because this is something that my crowd, independent artists, know extremely well, but maybe you're not as aware. And if you are, sorry for presuming and repeating myself, you cannot publish directly into Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music. You have to go through an aggregator, right? So you have to pay either monthly, right, or track by track, a company that delivers through hundreds of platforms, not just Spotify, Amazon, and everything. They're called aggregator. Now, for example, my favorite aggregator is CD Baby. There's there since the late 90s. A very popular one is DistroKid. And then there are other ones. Now, there is a platform upcoming that is going to do music NFT. So, yeah, there is somebody already popping up. And they just made a deal with Ditto, D-I-T-T-O. And Ditto is an aggregator. So Ditto is an aggregator. So you go with your track, you pay Ditto, and Ditto, you give him one track, and Ditto puts it everywhere. Because you can't go directly to Spotify and Apple Music. They do it for you for a fee. So now Ditto wants to do NFT master ownership. So what I think they're going to do, they're going to build a structure so that when Spotify pay for that track, Ditto automatically distributes through the NFT token owners. That's the only way why they're doing a partnership, which is interesting because it means that we, as publicpressure.co, just to remind you, .org is the magazine, .co is the NFT company. We should, in theory, at least sort of like try to see if people like CD Baby, DistroKid, and others are interested in partner with us.
Yeah, but that's another bit. That's a big decision. I mean, I think we haven't gone through the
it's a gigantic decision. It's a gigantic decision.
Dividing this, but all the NFTs which has been done until today, they are not connected to the real income produced by whatever is going on. Right? They are mainly collectible stunts. So they tell you you're going to come to my concert, but I mean, owning a ticket of a concert is dislinked to to the traditional business model and revenue model that you have in the music industry. So creating that link is going to be an interesting challenge to go and solve.
Oh, no.
But what
I
I'm saying
understand the
is,
NFT.
what I'm saying today is, this is my master. The master is going to be distributed. I'm going to be famous. And the fact that you own part of the master, it means that other people which are super fan, they want to buy from you. The more I become famous, the more these people are going to be willing to buy the token. But you have a sort of separate market for what is going on. So it's not that the token price or the NFT price is going to go up because there are current revenues going up on the same song. It's because the profile of the artist is increasing. So owning part of the art is a collectible. So people are deciding how much the values increases, but you don't have a direct link with the revenue of the song. Right?
No,
Yeah, no, but that would be good. When it's happening, it's going to be a game changer.
Like if you sell the master, you're going to split your revenue, the royalties, with the person who bought the masters with you. So through Ditto and City Babies or other platform, they're going to share the revenue with the owners of the masters. There can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people. That's a master. So at the same time, when you buy a token, you're going to also have revenues if you buy the master. Like there is example like Belladonna. It's it's a small Italian group, and they sold one master, I said before, for $1,000. They're going to split the revenue with this person forever. Let's say if they're going to sell the song to do, I don't know, a movie, they're going to share the royalties. So if you sell the master, you're going to share the royalties. Plus, the token is going to be more valuable.
Yeah.
The other way, if you sell like a limited edition, you're going to have a part of the content that is not a master, is going to be a limited edition, and the price of the token is going to change through the secondary market.
No, I understand that. What I'm trying to say is that Ditto, I think Ditto, what it's doing, is just a presumption because they're going in partnership with this NFT platform that specifically dedicate themselves to selling masters, right? Is what they want to do, that connection, so that basically if I buy the master, I don't have to wait for the artist to tell me, hey, you made this and this, I'll send it.
Like our platform is going to be connected with another platform. We're going to be connected, and they're going to share the revenue with the people that token.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, the only that I heard of is Ditto. I haven't heard of anything else, but I'm sure everybody's thinking about it. Everybody must be thinking that, okay, now how can we pay people basically back the same way if the master is on an NFT?
In case they're going to buy master, if they buy limited edition.
No. I understand. If they buy limited edition, it's a different proposition. I got that. Yeah. Absolutely. So these are basically the two proposition basically we're gonna have. Is either you sell the master or you sell a limited edition.
Yeah.
It's cool. And to that limited edition, you can attach, of course, lots of things. Vinyl, limited edition vinyl, come for our gigs forever.
Or like stickers.
Like, yeah.
Like you can sell
prints and everything. Oh my God, I can think about. When I think of it, when I think about people that are ready for it, and I hope they're watching now, so they know, I'm thinking about, obviously as label, I'm thinking about Hyperdub, I'm thinking about Blah Records. In terms of artist, I'm thinking Starsha Lee, which is an incredible artist, does incredible pictures, and she's an incredible punk singer in a punk band. I'm thinking Avoid. And there's some artists out there that are already building up a kind of sort of like an artistic flavor around beyond the music.
I think, sorry to interrupt you, there is a new opportunity for the music industry, for artists to show the vision through using the help of another artist that can be a video maker or like a photographer. So together they can have like a new song with a new video together, a new
Oh,
art.
yeah.
Can be
Oh,
a
yeah.
new art to sell. That's the new.
Oh, yeah. That's already happening. That's already happening. I mean, I'm thinking Ono Capano, I never know how to pronounce it. And he's done this incredible cartoon where he made a kind of like almost a horror version of Yellow Submarine with a rap hip hop track. And it's just incredible. You know, it's a piece of art. I'm looking at it and it's like, this is to me on the same level of something I would watch at Saatchi Gallery. And
Yes.
again, this is the collaboration between sort of like graphic designers and that's fantastic stuff.
Like a new
Fantastic stuff.
a new way to do music art.
Yeah, iFocus Record. That's another label that should jump on it.
Guys,
straight
we
away. And I'm
said
sure
under
that
the 60 minutes, we got to 55.
fantastic. So I'm gonna leave the link to publicpressure.co, and please, you know, express your interest, apply today, and let's see where we're going. We've got Sergio Mottola, Giulia Maresca on the team, so I think we are going in the right direction.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao Alfredo.
Ciao Sergio. Bye.
Ciao Giulia.